Money mantra. Money mantra. Manage your mind. Manage your money. All right, my people, here we are with another episode of the Money Mantra. I am your host, Caesar Visual Zamudio, and today my guest is a life coach, motivational speaker, and author. And through her work, she passionately aids others in experiencing transformation and enjoying the benefits of a joyful, empowering life. Auguste Crenshaw, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling fabulous. Thank you.
Yes, I love that. So, Auguste, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Anything that I didn't already mention that you might want to add on?
Oh, well, bottom line is you covered the bullet points as far as who I am professionally. I think it's important to know in addition to that I am a wife. I've been with my husband for 10 years. We've been married for 6 of them. And I'm also a mother. I got a broad spectrum. I have a college student who's 21, an 11-year-old, a 3, and a 2-year-old. So I'm a busy woman. I love who I am as a businesswoman, but I'm just a regular person at the end of the day. And my family, that's like my pride and joy.
Love that. Family is very important.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get right into this first question. Auguste, tell us what is your money mantra?
I deserve abundance.
Love that.
It's simple, it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, but that's it. I tell myself all the time, I deserve abundance.
Love that. So could you elaborate a little bit more on that? Tell us what that really means to you.
The bottom line is there was a time in my life when I didn't think that I did. I like to be careful on how I speak about things because I never want anybody to think that I'm being counter anything. I've learned to let people walk in their own truths. But I was raised as a Christian, and from the background that I came from, I didn't necessarily believe that I always deserved abundance. Scriptures like the poor will be with you always, and what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? You got to pick up your cross, you got to carry it daily. So I had a negative association with abundance and living happy. And if you notice the scriptures that I'm saying, those things weren't just, for money, picking up your cross and carrying it daily. That also meant that I wasn't necessarily going to be emotionally abundant. So my money mantra actually, it's saying that I deserve abundance in all aspects, financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I deserve it all. And I know that I do because I had to learn to identify with true promises. And, so that's just what I say. I don't have anybody else's mantra. That's mine. I just say I deserve abundance.
I love that. That's really good right there. So let's get a little specific into streams of revenue. Could you tell us your different streams and how you earn them?
My primary one is one-to-one coaching. Now, I've been in business now for just a little bit under a year, and one-to-one coaching is where I started. And because of the epiphanies with the one-to-one coaching, I'm like, oh, okay, so I have books that I can write, and then I have online programs that I can start. So I ended up realizing that I could do more. So one-to-one coaching is where I began, but now my second stream that's the most influential is my online coaching programs. Now, the other thing that adds to that is Facebook groups. And I don't know if people know this or not, but when you're getting out there and you're building your business, you have to stay extremely creative. And for instance, this one particular organization, the guy, he's like, I want to take my organization to the next level. And when I gave him a bid for the price, he was like, that's a fair price, but at the same time, it's a little expensive. So, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to continue to stay innovative and creative. And I'm like, well, building your organization is going to require you to have loyal people. And in order to make sure that these people are loyal, they need to be vested in it. So how about if we set up a secret group just for them, and they pay a monthly subscription? Because in helping you organize it, since I'm a coach and I'm a motivational speaker, I'm also going to be inspiring them, and what I'm teaching them to help you with their organization, they can transfer to their business. So now I've opened up a total of 2 now, and possibly a third secret Facebook group, and I make money off of that as well. My book sales, I'm still, getting known, but that's another stream of income for me. I'm definitely, starting to climb with making that money, but that's where I'm at right now. Those are my primary means of making money.
I love that, August. For me personally, it's really inspiring to hear what you're saying that you're currently doing for streams of revenue, because it's something that I'm definitely leaning towards getting into myself. I really haven't done the coaching and the writing of an actual book or anything of that nature, or even the groups and the online courses like you mentioned, but it's something that's been on my mind for a year. So to see you doing that, hear about you doing it, it's exciting to me. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. So, August, we know you got some great things going on right now. Obviously, being a personal coach, motivational speaker, you got a lot of great things going on inside of you, inside of your mind. Your soul's got to be on fire at a certain point where you're just like, you know what? I got it. I could give this to somebody because I know the feeling. It's amazing. But it hasn't always been that way. I know that had to be a tough time in your life. So I really want to hear about that right now. Like, please tell us in detail the moment in your life during your worst financial time, and walk us a little bit through the process and kind of what your mind state was at that time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no. And unfortunately, I have a couple of them because, you have like ups and downs in life.
Yeah.
But financially specifically, I want to say that the worst place that I was in, unfortunately, was right after I went through my first divorce. I was married prior to my husband, and I thought about it. First, I was going to share a different one. I was like, I want to share this one because I don't know who's going to be listening to this, but I've always been a pretty decent person, about handling money. I wasn't the one who always had to have the freshest kicks or the newest car. I did spend money on things that I actually liked, but my unforeseen circumstance of being in a bad marriage, and the only way to get out of it is what put me in my worst financial spot. So there was a time in my life where it was like, okay, man, you've been an adult, you've been a successful person, because I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I was a hairstylist for 20 years with a thriving clientele, and I almost lost it all because of going through a really rough, abusive relationship, and leaving my ex-husband literally made me start over with nothing. I mean, when I finally found a place to stay, which I stayed with a girlfriend and slept on her love seat, for a second with my two little kids. When I found a place to live, I had to borrow money in order to be able to get into it. I had to go back and go get on welfare, and food stamps. I was begging for the car company to give me an extension on my vehicle. I mean, people literally donated food and all of that stuff to me. I found myself with an unsurmountable amount of debt because I had a couple of credit cards that I would use, and I had to use those credit cards, to live. And it really had me in a really, really low spot. But I was like, I still got to push in spite of. That is one of the lowest points in my life, because sometimes, the relationships that you're in, if you don't take your time and you get into them, there's some backlash that can come from it. And I had to fight hard in order to reverse all of that.
I hear you. So I know that's got to be a difficult situation to be in. What did you really learn from that, and what would you want everybody that's listening to this to really gain from that?
Well, before I started, dating my first husband, I had, like I said, I wasn't financially astute. I wasn't like the sharpest person, but I just wasn't very irresponsible. But one of the things that I learned was not to let go of my standards. Because of the friction and the turmoil, I lost saving. So I had no money in the bank, as an emergency, to help me out in a time like this. And I had standards, and I let them go. The biggest thing I want anybody listening to this to do is to understand that when you develop a standard, when it pertains to money, you keep a standard. Because on one hand, I could be frustrated and say, this wasn't right, this wasn't fair, he was a jerk, this went wrong. But we got to keep a mindset of accountability. I'm really big on mirror mentality. Always look at yourself and say, what could I have done differently? Don't beat yourself up, but just look at yourself and say, how could I have been better prepared for this? So there were times when I could have saved, or I could have made better decisions, and I didn't. I was too busy just hoping things would work out, and it all ended up crumbling in my face. and I wasn't ready for it. And so now there's certain standards I have when it comes to handling money. I don't care how big or grand the opportunity looks. If it doesn't mesh with my values, I'm not taking it and I'm not messing with it, or I'm not aligning with those people. There's just certain things you just don't do. You got to stay true to your values.
I love that. I love that. So I hear you. You leveled up and you are at a new place. I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
So let's talk about now, Auguste. Tell me about something that's going on right now, whether it's in your personal life or in your business, something that you've changed recently for your own personal development, or a change you're going through right now. Walk us a little bit through that. Tell us why you're making that change and how you feel it's going to benefit you in the end.
Well, one of the biggest changes, where I won't say that, I'll say it's recent because it's within the year. But, one of the biggest changes was that when I decided to become a coach, I realized just how much I needed to be coached. And so making that investment in myself. And sometimes, even if your money's a little tight when you start your own business, you have to make a decision that no matter what, you're going to think outside the box. As a matter of fact, my phrase is burn the box. I don't even want you to think outside of it. I want you to burn it, because I don't even want you to step back in it. But mentorship is critically important. And even if you have to do it at a distance, and I do that now, where the people that, that you coach, they come to me for coaching, and they live in a whole other city. You don't have to be in the same place as your coach. Don't think that it always has to be intimate. The other thing is when I'm like, okay, I've let you coach me to this place. I'm going to spread my wings and fly, but I still need to get that inspiration and motivation. I'm really intentional about what I put in my mind. So if I'm cutting on YouTube, I'm listening to Gary Vee, I'm listening to Tony Robbins, I'm listening to Eric Thomas, or somebody that's influential, and I'm making sure that I'm feeding my brain the right kind of financial medicine so I can keep living out my money mantra. I constantly read, and I've always been a person who's an absorber of knowledge, but when I say that this is change, I've went into, it's not overkill, but for a lack of a better way to say it, I went into overkill with it, because this whole grind to walk in abundance, to be an entrepreneur, it literally requires you to have a killer mindset. It doesn't require you to be a genius, but when it's getting thick and when it looks kind of grim, you got to be able to keep pushing. So me and my husband, we do some hardcore studying, reading, meditation, and fueling and feeding our mind in order to make sure we can stay on top of our game.
Wow, I'm loving that. That's awesome. Like, for real, it's great to hear you break it down like that. The way that you break it down is definitely very inspiring. You mentioned three guys too, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, and E.T. Those three right there. Wow, you want to talk about mentors? You know what? And mentors from a distance, which is interesting that you mentioned, because you say that you mentor some people from a distance, and I look at those three guys, and also including, I'm not sure if you're familiar with John Lee Dumas of EO Fire.
Yeah.
He's another one. Those four guys right there, like, those are my mentors. Like, they don't even know it, but those are my mentors, my current mentors right now. Like, I study those guys, and those guys are on point. Like, those guys are very on point. So wow, I'm glad you mentioned those. Those are some awesome human beings right there.
No, absolutely. And if you don't mind me interjecting this real quick, my thing is the coaching industry is kind of tricky. The coaching industry has a bad rap because there are a lot of people out there that charge like really exorbitant fees in order for you to get just a touch of their mindset. But like, even with myself, and I know other coaches, a lot of us have closed groups where we don't even charge. It's just for free. It's just a place where you can go and be around like-minded people with mindsets to achieve your goals and to walk in your purpose. There really is no reason. Money should never be the reason why you can't have what you want. That's why my money mantra is I deserve abundance. I'm going to get it one way or another. So no matter how you have to do it, when it comes to personal development, if you can't quote unquote afford a coach like me or somebody else, there's absolutely no reason why you still can't be coached, that you still can't get the fuel you need to push you through your business. There's no reason why.
Facts. Facts. Wow, August. So this is going great. Listen, we're going to get into a small break right now, hear a little bit from people that are sponsors of the show, and then we're going to bounce back into these last final questions.
All right.
What's good, my people? So, one thing I really dig about being an entrepreneur is the marketing and branding aspect. There's something great about having an idea and being able to manifest it in a way that really gravitates to people. And something that's been able to help me do that is Wave. I went to wave.video, that's WAVVE.video, where I was able to create images and combine them with some audio from the podcast and turn those into video. I've been able to use that video all over the Money Mantra social media. You could go check those out right now. If you want to create your own like that, just go to wave.video. That's WAVVE.video.
All right, my people. So we are here on the second half of the Money Mantra episode with Auguste Crenshaw. So Auguste, let's get right into this first question. Please tell us, what is your biggest challenge when dealing with money?
My biggest challenge when dealing with money. I would have to say that right now it has to be with being very slow to move. I'm not bad with money, like I said before, but when you're trying to advance your business and they're entrepreneurs are what I call calculated risk takers. You do have to be risky, but that doesn't mean you just throw caution to the wind. And so knowing where to spend it, when to spend it, who to spend it on, what to spend it for. And so sometimes I have to say, okay, I have to remind myself, the money mantra is not just there because I got this thing perfected. Let's just be real. I have to remind myself I deserve abundance. And so every once in a while, this is just being real. I could be like, man, I don't want to spend that because, and I'll be like, no, you're operating with the scarcity mentality. It's going to be okay. As long as you cross your T's and dotted your I's, make the investment. But because I do still have to filter some of my previous experiences, when it comes to handling money, sometimes I can't hold on too tight. And that people may not realize that, because some people pride themselves in saving, but sometimes you got to learn how to let it go.
Yes. So how about personal mindset? What gives you problems?
Personal mindset, honestly, every once in a while. Oh God, look, I'm going to tell you guys, working with me, you're going to realize I'm really genuine. Being on social media is something I resisted for a long time because I just felt like it was a bunch of hoopla. But once you get involved with it and people start liking your posts, sharing your posts, following you on Instagram, sometimes you can get real petty. Like you look and you're like, well, why isn't anybody liking this, or why aren't they sharing it? And I had to realize, wait a minute, you're taking stuff personal. How do you even know whether or not somebody saw it in the feed? So personally, I have to make sure that I don't trip off of the numbers because it's about the quantity. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality of the people that are following you. So as a business owner growing, every once in a while I got to check myself and not get too caught up on the hype of the numbers when it comes to building my business.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. How about your biggest strength with money? Tell us about that.
The biggest strength with money is that I manage the mess out of it. And I'm very visual when it comes to money. If you say something to me and you're like, oh yeah, there's going to be $100 a month, I'll be like, oh, so $3 a day. That's just the way that my brain is. I automatically can dissect it. If I have a debt or something that I need to take care of or pay, if I want to invest in it, I'm already microscopically breaking it down. If I pay this much, this is how fast I can pay it off. I'm a numbers fanatic, so I dissect stuff very easily. And like I said, I live a very frugal lifestyle. I don't rush to spend anything personal, so I don't have a problem accumulating money. That's easy for me.
That's awesome. How about personal mindset? What's your strongest?
My strongest personal mindset is understanding that I'm of value and I'm an expert at what I do. And I know for a fact, like especially for a business owner, this is critical. One of the things I always say for myself is that anybody that crosses my path, I know that they're at a pivotal point in their life. And the conversation with me is going to help them make the decision of whether they make a left turn or a right turn. So I am bent out of shape on walking in my purpose. The strongest thing for me right now is that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt I'm walking in my destiny. And that gives me fuel to get up and do what I do every single day.
Wow, well, just from 20 minutes on the phone with you, I already could tell you that yes, you're absolutely right with that one. You're already reestablishing some things in me, so I honor that highly.
That's what's up.
Yes, yes. So, August, all right, tell me, what is the greatest thing in your life that you're looking forward to every day?
Honestly, the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I absolutely love it because me and my husband work together to build my business and build my brand. I wake up and see him every single day. My kids, the little bitty ones, they're here with me all the time. Those things are important to me. There was a time when he was getting up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning to drive for Metro, or because he was running his own lawn care service. He was gone for all kind of hours of the day. And there's something about having control of your life and being able to just roll over and be like, oh, you still there? That's beautiful. I mean, it's simple, but it's beautiful to me that I control when I see my family instead of somebody telling me when I gotta come and when I gotta go. That's priceless.
Yes, yes. Do you have a daily routine or a habit that really keeps you focused on all of your goals?
No, absolutely. I get up every single morning and I start off with prayer and meditation. I literally say it like that because a lot of people pray, mean they run their mouth, but they don't sit down and listen. And a lot of people sit and listen, but then they don't say what they want. So I do a combination of the two. I say what I want and then I focus and I empty my mind in order for me to be able to receive. And I'm really big on gratitude. I believe your energy. I'm so into the law of attraction. Your energy dictates what comes to you. And so I don't necessarily always say I'm thankful this, I'm grateful for this, I'm thankful for that, but I always get myself centered and in a zone. And sometimes it really could, for instance, it could be going to a Facebook page and saying, oh wow, look at these comments that people gave me. Somebody may have written me a message that said, thank you for sharing what you shared because I'm going through a divorce and you helped me heal. I always look at something that edifies my position and encourages me to keep doing it. So those three things are key things that I always do every single day. Pray, meditate, and make sure that my mindset is starting off in the beginning in a very powerful, grateful mindset.
Great. August, how about an app, software, service, or a resource that you use for your business or personal life? Could you recommend one?
Oh, you know what? Honestly, now software wise, I don't even know if I want to recommend it, and I'm not saying that because it's not good. Being a solopreneur, entrepreneur since I work with my husband, it'd be because we built so much in the first year, we're still not ready to hire that virtual assistant. There's this software that I use called Infusionsoft. And it's really good and it's really big on helping me manage my contacts and my automation and stuff like that. And as far as apps, that's from the professional side. On the personal side, I don't use any apps, but I will tell you that I'm on YouTube a lot. Not just for listening like to motivational speakers and stuff like that, but a lot of times when I get in a meditation mode, I literally have a playlist of meditation songs that I listen to. So like YouTube is like my app and my Harvard and my motivation and everything. So I don't use no personal apps, but I do use YouTube a lot.
Awesome. YouTube is great. Do you have a book or a film that you recommend? And definitely tell us why.
Book automatically is The Alchemist. I could give a ton of different books about, the irrefutable laws of leadership and stuff like that by John C. Maxwell. But I love The Alchemist, and the reason being is because it's written in like a parable-like form. And even though you're reading the story about this shepherd boy, you could visualize yourself when it's talking about the changes, to motivate a person to pursue their dreams. And that's like stellar to me. And I know you said a book, but second in line to that, I have to say the second book would be The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson, because it does the same thing. And that one basically says that every day somebody ordinary realizes that they're made to do extraordinary things. Once again, it's written in a parable form, and you can insert yourself in the journey to see all of the battles, the fear, the friends, the family, the ups and downs in life with pursuing your dreams. It's those two books are phenomenal. And when it comes to movies, I'm an old school person. I would suggest watching all of the Rocky movies. Believe it or not, I like to watch movies that aren't necessarily saying specifically, like for business owners or something like that, that this is how you do this, like a documentary. I like Rocky because Rocky was a guy, just an ordinary guy who was ready when his shot came. And so that movie just tells you, no matter what, keep your eyes open and prepare for it. So when it comes, you and everybody's sleeping on you, you can bust through. And so every single movie, there was something that he had to press through, but he pressed through it every single time. That movie, any of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when you go through the whole series, each movie should make you feel like you could go out and conquer the world.
Yeah, I love the Rocky movies. That's a great choice.
Yes.
All right, August. So let's say you have $1 million. What are you gonna do with it?
Well, God knows that right there is one of those questions. Everybody likes to ask that question. Of course, there are some personal debts, that I would like to take care of, and I would get rid of those immediately. I mean, investing in myself and my husband, as far as our future is concerned, that is a no-brainer. But I definitely would like to take a nice amount of money to start my own nonprofit organization, to give it its own foundation. I know that you can start those without that, but if I had the opportunity to have the $1 million, I would use it for that. I already even have a name for it, and I know that I want to target teens. So I don't want to say too much about it, because I haven't gotten all the paperwork and stuff together. I don't want somebody to quote unquote take my ideal or whatever, but I would definitely use it to fund that. And my thing is a lot of people got great charities out there, but if you find out the statistics on them, you'll see that maybe only 10 cents of your dollars actually go to the cause. And I would use that to set up the foundation so that the vast majority of the money goes towards the cause, and only a small part of it would go to fund committees and people and stuff like that that work there. I'm really big on philanthropy, and like I said, it could be used to help me with some debt and stuff like that, but I'm like having a lot of opportunities with my business, and I'm growing and I'm moving so fast, so I can't really see me necessarily needing that money for myself. I can honestly see where I could use it to help out some other people.
All right. So August, we're here at the end. Just please give us some personal advice, and definitely let the people know where they could contact you.
My personal advice is that you should always walk in your truth. If there's one thing that I've learned on my journey, is that the people that I thought would support me weren't there, and the people that I had no idea were looking at me fell in love with me. So it doesn't make a difference what you want to do, even if it's on the edge. I've been talking a lot about money and being an entrepreneur, because that's what I do. But even if it's something as simple as, maybe you're listening to this and you want to go to college and you want to get a degree and you want to go to be an actuary, but your family wants you to go to be an attorney. Make sure you hold strong to your personal truths and you walk in it. If you feel like you don't have support and that people don't have your back, I always challenge people and say, well, hey, are you letting it be known that this is me and that I've arrived? And respect is something that you sometimes have to make sure that you demand from people. And since we talked a lot about money, my thing is get some knowledge. And I don't just mean that in a lackadaisical way. Get in contact with somebody who's going to do more than tell you that you need to save. Get with somebody who's going to literally sit down and work with you to look at money and what it means to understand how to pay bills, where you put money at, how loan processes go, how you pick which car you're going to drive, what your payment should be, and calculate things. Get educated. Most people have no financial acuity, but there are people out there like me who will tell you, hey, these are some things that you should or you shouldn't do. You shouldn't invest in that. You shouldn't buy that. Learning how to live below your means, basically, because even the wealthy, they may live a high standard, but the ones that stay on top, they still live below their means. Check out Warren Buffett. Man got a whole bunch of money. He don't live like he has as much money as he has, but he has, a peace of mind. So that's my biggest piece of personal advice for people that are listening.
Awesome. And how could the people contact you if they want to contact you?
I am findable everywhere. You just type in my name, Auguste Crenshaw. I'm August with an E, but everything is pretty much my name. www.augustecrenshaw.com. If you find me on Facebook, you'll find me as augustecrenshaw.com. I give a lot of free nuggets away. I was talking about those free groups. I have a free group called Real Life, Real Talk with Auguste Crenshaw. We talk about personal, professional, and spiritual issues, no holds bar. Whatever you want to talk about, you can join that group for free. We've been going and growing strong in all of the regular platforms. You can find me as Auguste Crenshaw on Instagram, and you can find me on Twitter and on LinkedIn. With Twitter, though, it's at Created75, because at first I was using my company name. My company name is Created, and my tagline is to be extraordinary and convert others. But I realized that because of the nature of my business, literally my name has value. So I wanted to lock in and make sure the websites and stuff were there for me. So anything online, Auguste Crenshaw, Auguste, you're going to find me.
Yeah, you have it. Well, there you have it, people. I'm joining the group. I know that for a fact. So you guys need to take advantage of that. Auguste, thank you so much for your time. And as always, to the listeners and to you, I wish you nothing but peace, blessings, hundreds of lessons. This is your host, Caesar Visual Zamudio, and this is the Money Mantra.